Yeah, I guess it could mean a million different things, but to train smarter, I think we're just, again, the 95-5 rule, 95% of your points come from 5% of the wrestling technique. And that's a lot, right? So our more advanced programs, we're focused on 78 wrestling techniques plus tricks. There might be 120 things. Well, not 120, but 78 core wrestling techniques is what we're really focused on. That's our more advanced program. So we say this, just because you're hot, tired, and sweaty after practice doesn't mean you got better. And just because you're not hot, tired, and sweaty after practice doesn't mean you didn't get better or the coach wasted your time. People still do that. We have a dad, he actually just left our program. It was kind of like requested, but he would run practice. He tried to get some of my kids to go to his practice, and his kids were in my room temporarily, and he just wanted to beat them up, and I went in there one time and I actually let him use my gym a couple of times, and they're doing sprints and this group's doing squat thrusts, and then we're hit that double leg harder, and he's blowing the whistle, and it's just like, it's this physical torture fest, and I'm like, this is freaking stupid. They're not getting better, and then he wanted to do it a second night, and I go, yeah, but he's pulling kids from my elite room over, and I got parents called, and I called them, I go, you can't do that. Hey, if you want to take your 4 kids and these other kids who are not on Purler Wrestling Academy Elite on Thursday, go ahead. But you're not going to pull kids out of that room. And, I just think it's good for them. And I'm like, dude, you're talking to the #1 wrestling coach in America. I mean, probably, as far as success is concerned. I mean, with our facilities and camps, I'm not paying for this. I mean, we got them there. We had kids from 4 different countries plus America last year at our camps. And I'm like, I think they need less of what you're doing. I let you do it because you're not interfering with what I'm doing. And I don't think it's a bad thing. But you're trying to get kids to skip a masterful wrestling practice devised by me, taught by Jeremiah, so they can go there and do burpees and you can pace around screaming at them. See, that's called working harder, isn't it? No, let's be technical. Let's be technical, precision. So in wrestling, when you're working smarter, you're basically honing in on so if you're a 6-year-old, I've got a practice plan. And if your 6-year-old wants to learn how to do a Russian 2-on-1, don't come to my practice. I don't want you in my room. I don't want your money. I don't want you anywhere around me. I hope it works out for you. Bye-bye. Because it's stupid. So I have a plan for 6 to 9-year-olds beginners. I have a plan for high school kids in the off season who are very elite. Like I said, we just had our 37th Wrestling Academy student signed Division I just in the past 2.5 years. They're on a plan. That's called working smarter. Now, am I going to have them on the same plan as the 9-year-old? No. Am I going to have the 9-year-old on that plan? No. Are we going to have a condition-based workout where we're conditioning? No. That's not. See, that's called working harder. So that comes down to what I said at the beginning. Just because we're hot, tired, and sweaty at the end of practice doesn't mean we got any better at wrestling. And I'll say one last thing. When I was at Oklahoma State years ago, when I was on the team, actually 6 years because I gray shirted a year, and we won the NCAA title 3 times. Okay, so we knew how to win. And that was a life-changing experience for me. After we were like 4 practices in a row, morning practice, 7 o'clock to 8:05 or whatever it was. We had our coffee right there, and we were working how to put a man's arm behind their back. How to get the wrist 2 different ways, counters to counters. How to put them on their side and eventually their stomach, so forth. How to put the arm behind the back. How to twist the fingers without the ref calling it. How to put it high without making it illegal. How to show this legal bar arm or hammer lock to the ref before we drop our chest on their back. We even showed how to make it illegal a little bit without the ref seeing it. But guess what? After practice, like day 4, Joe C was like, okay, raise your this was life-changing for me. He goes, raise your hand if your legs are tired. No. Raise your hand if your lungs are tired and your heart's pounding. No. Raise your hand if you sweated off 5 pounds. No. Raise your hand if you're exhausted and fatigued. No. Raise your hand if you feel like you got better and your confidence is soaring right now. And boom, we all raised our hand. That's working smarter. I'm not saying you shouldn't do a little conditioning, but your conditioning isn't running and doing jumping jacks and stupidity. Your conditioning is wrestling. I hit the whistle, you drop your level. I hit the whistle again, you hit a low single leg day sprawl crackdown. Again, 1 whistle, 2 whistle, set. 1 whistle, 2 whistle, set. See, I'm working your conditioning, but it's getting better at the sport of wrestling. But once you're exhausted, it looks like crap, I'm done with that because I don't want you to engage in sloppy drilling. Other partner goes. Now we have practices like that for an hour and 5 or 10 minutes, and people are like, Nick, I have never seen a human being run a practice like that in my life. And I'm like, dude, we've been doing this since the 90s. You just didn't show up, And they're like, my kid, they're exhausted. Well, guess what? Hey, give them 3 weeks. They'll be fine. They'll get in shape for this. But did we do 1 push-up? No. Did we run? No. Did we do squat thrust? No. Did a coach run around screaming and slobbering and blowing a whistle like an idiot? No. Were we getting better with precision drilling orchestrated by a coach who has a plan in place for the athletes that are on the mat? Yes, we did. That's called training smarter, not harder.